It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
All right.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the owners of SwapTalk podcast. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started with your SwapTalk podcast?
Let me do it.
Sure, I'll let him go.
Well, we've been on for about 10 months maybe now, something like that. We always have listened to podcasts over the last couple of years. Quentin especially was really got me into listening to them, and we always sit around talking amongst ourselves, and we just had the idea one day, let's start our own podcast and try to include some other people, and because we enjoy NC State sports and University of Mount Olive sports, and of course we cover in our area, we try to cover the local high school football as well. But it was kind of it's something we were doing ourselves anyhow. We just thought we'd take it on the podcast.
How did you know that you wanted to cover sports on the high school, college, and UMO level?
Well, we're hardcore NC State fans. I have been forever and ever. Quentin has been since he's been around too. Then he actually attended Mount Olive starting back in 2017, and his best friends play baseball at UMO. We still keep up with those guys, and we kind of wanted to help support them, so we included them as well. And then we're hardcore high school football fans too.
Go
ahead.
Who are some important players or coaches or even members that you've interviewed?
I'll take this one. So, of course, we had Sugar Shane on last week. Before that, we've been trying to run down the list of having a lot of UMO's baseball players on. We've had Junior Snow. I believe we had him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Before that, we've had Emory Jackson. We've had Harrison Aiken, Matt Stokes, Reed Paris. And I think that might be about it. But we're still trying to run down a list of the UMO baseball players. And we're also working at getting some in the future, getting an NC State basketball player on. And
we're
still trying to run down the list.
It's primarily been people associated with UMO baseball so far.
Can you talk about how you go after those players? For example, contacting them?
Most of the guys that we've had on are people that, I have contact with, because I have a lot of ties to the baseball team. A lot of them are, friends of mine, and, just been trying to get them on. I've been wanting to get them out, get their story out to the world. So that's how we've been able to get in touch with them.
Yeah, and it was basically, he's best friends with a lot of those guys. So it was basically just call them or give them a text and ask them if they'd like to come on and talk a little bit.
Who are some future players that you would like to interview?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about. Like UMO, we would like to have the rest of the team on, of course, and the head coach Rob Watt. And then, of course, we would love to have some NC State guys on. I've been talking to Chase Graham. I don't know if you're familiar with Chase at NC State basketball. And we've been trying to keep in touch with him, see if we can get him on. Would love to have one of their coaches on. We got really big plans for the future.
What are some more of your plans for the future?
You want to take that?
Well, we expanded it a little bit. We're NC State, UMO, and then high school football. We actually added back in the spring when all the COVID stuff started. We kept going every week. We're hardcore fishermen too. We like to fish a lot. down at the beach. So we've added that to it every week about talking about our fishing. We go just about every week. We're trying to add some more sports as well. Golf. We do talk about Carolina Hurricanes hockey as well. We had a golfer from Appalachian State. What was his name?
Oh, that's right. We had Justin Morgan. He's a future golfer at Appalachian State. He was a transfer in from Cape Fear Community College.
Yeah, he's going to be there this year. But golf, hockey, we can probably add a little bit more of that. In the summertime, last year more so than this year, we added summer league ball because we're near, like I said before, we're near Edenton, and they have a Edenton Steamers is the summer league over there. We cover them, and the Wilson Tobbs. There's some guys from UMO that play there, so we tried to include them as well. But we want to have more, I guess, more interviews. In the very beginning, we didn't do that many. We had a couple, but I think that's one thing I know I'd like to see us add more and more interviews to it. And I don't know exactly what we could do to expand to it. We hit on all the things that we're real hardcore about.
We're just kind of doing it as we go.
Yeah, some of it we'll come up. We'll think of something maybe during the week. Either I will or he will, and we'll try to throw that in there.
How was your time covering the Wilson Tobbs?
Well, this year it was kind of more difficult due to, obviously the pandemic and the shortened season. It was kind of hard to get information because their site wasn't updated as much. And, of course, we couldn't go out there because, there were no fans. We just did the best we could with the information we could find. Hopefully next year will be a lot better.
What do you look forward to, in course, if the coronavirus ends? What do you look forward to accomplishing going out to games, like, for example, the Wilson Tobbs and high school games?
Well, one thing I know I'd like to see us do is, and we actually did it last year, I think, didn't we? Do some podcast.
Post game.
Well, on location, like at different places. We were at the North Carolina High School Football Championships last year in December, and that were played at Duke. Did we didn't do the cast from there, did we? Or did we?
No.
I want to see us try to do some more location stuff. Actually, and try to interview some of the people, there. Like when we go to UMO and try to actually do one from there, from Scarborough Field, or if we're in at a Tobbs game or at an Edenton Steamers game, something like that, try to get interview somebody right there.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than calling them up, because that's the only way we've been able to do it so far is just get them on the phone. I want to do some more face-to-face.
What advice would you give upcoming sports talk podcasts looking to get into the profession?
You want to do that one? Or do you want me to do it?
Well, get your don't wait until the last moment, if you're getting ready to record, to start throwing together stats or any notes or anything like that. We found out the first 3 or 4 maybe we did. We were new to it and we kind of did that, but we've learned more and more because we record on Sunday nights, to start Monday making notes. Tuesday make some more notes. I keep a notebook in my truck with me. If I think about something, I try to jot it down. That's the big thing there. Make sure you've got all your notes in front of you. Because if you just kind of wing it and hit record and start going, a lot of times within 15 minutes, you don't have anything else left.
Is there any other advice that you would give upcoming Sports Talks podcasts?
Well, I would say, of course, we use the Anchor app. A lot of us, don't. Obviously, you can tell that we don't have, the greatest setup. We don't have all this big. We're trying to add stuff, but it doesn't take a whole lot to start one. If you have an idea or something you would like, more people in the world would like to hear. If you have your own little story you would like to put out there, or even if, just the way we started talking when we started thinking about ours, if you just want to have that to go back and listen to at some point later in your life, as to memorialize some things.
Well, ours too, we started out, it was like just us sitting in the car, truck, or whatever together, riding and talking about it, because we did that a lot before we started recording, or before we had a podcast. And that's kind of like the way we do the podcast. It's just like the two of us sitting here talking about whatever team or whatever game.
Mm-hmm.
Where can my listeners find y'all's podcast on social media?
Okay, so I'm in charge of all the social media stuff. So there are two accounts. You can either go to my account on Twitter, which is at Odom_Quinton. That's ODOM_QUINTON. Or you can go to our podcast account on Twitter, and that is at podcast_swamp.
Go ahead.
Okay. On Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram at I believe it's Go Wolfpack 1. That's my account, but I also release all of every Sunday I put on a link to the podcast. And if you have any questions or want to reach me, you can reach me at my email, odomquinton07@gmail.com. And
then the podcast itself, you can go to what?
And you can find us if you're looking for us on like Apple Podcast or Anchor or Spotify. You can just search up SwapTalk Podcast with Quentin and Chris. It'll pop right up. We're everywhere. You can find us pretty much everywhere now. So yeah, every Sunday night.
Thank you for your interview, and best of luck in your future with your podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at @talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all again for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.